Today I am going to begin with the first chapter of your supplementary reader Moments. The name of the chapter is The Lost Child. The story is written by Mulk Raj Anand. Now he is an Indian writer who concentrates more on the poor Indian families. He tries to find out what their happiness are, what are their sufferings. So basically in all his stories you will find that he concentrates more on the life of the poverty-stricken people. Now this story, The Lost Child, from the title most of you might have guessed that this is a story where a child has got lost. So now we will read the story and find out whether this is correct or not. Now this story is, from the title itself you can understand that this story is about a child who has a lot of desires, who has a lot of demands. Now this is nothing different. Every child has demands. Every child wants things and they demand it from their parents. So this child was no different. He also had demands like any other boy. But the only difference is that some are fortunate enough to get whatever they want, whereas there are some who do not have that financial freedom to get everything that they ask for. Let's find out how fortunate this boy is, whether he gets what he demands for, or is there a difference in his thought by the end of the story. So the story begins with the spring festival. Now spring always means the end of winter season. In literature, winter always symbolizes sorrow or sadness, and spring symbolizes happiness. Now this story, as it begins, you can feel that happiness of spring season in its opening lines itself, that I am going to read for you now. It was the festival of spring. From the wintry shades of narrow lanes and alleys emerged a gaily clad humanity. So it was the spring festival. So what happens during a spring festival? There are a number of fairs, there are shops. Fair means in Hindi, or in Hindi we say it to be mela. So there were fair, there were shops, and it was a very joyful environment. So everybody, they started going to the festival of spring. So from the wintry shades of narrow lanes, small lanes of the villages and alleys emerged a gaily means very happy, joyful, clad humanity. Clad means covered. Okay, so here gaily clad means humanity means the people. Gaily clad means people. They were filled with happiness. They were covered with happiness. Some walked, some rode on horses, others sat, being carried in bamboo and bullock carts. So some people, they walked to the fair, some were riding on horses, and some were being carried by the bullock carts. One little boy ran between his father's legs, brimming over with life and laughter. Brimming means to overflow. So among all these people, there was a little boy who was also going to the fair, who was also going to the spring festival with his parents, and he was overflowing with laughter and joy, happiness, energy. Now see, fairs and festivals, who enjoy the most? The children. They are the ones who enjoy them the most. So this little boy also was very excited. And as they were moving, this boy, he was left behind, and his parents were calling him again and again. Now, why was he left behind? Because he was mesmerized by the shops, by the toys and the sights of those shops. He was taken aback by them. He stopped to watch those shops, and therefore he was lagging behind, and his parents, they kept on calling him. He hurried towards his parents, his feet obedient to their call. So he was an obedient boy. He always listened to his parents. So as soon as his parents called, he tried to obey their call, his eyes still lingering on the receding toys. But his heart, he could not control his heart. He was trying to obey his parents, but he was still looking at the shops where the toys were arranged. He could not, as he came to where they had stopped to wait for him, he could not suppress the desire of his heart, even though he well knew the old cold stare of refusal in their eyes. Now, what does it mean? Now, he knew that his parents will never give him what he demands for. Why? Because probably his parents were not so rich. Yet, when he saw those toys, he could not control. And even after knowing that he's only going to hear a no from his father, he went and he told his father that I want a toy. And what was the result? As he thought, he did not get a reply from him. There was no reply, neither a yes nor a no. And he knew what it meant, that his father is not going to buy him any toy. So again they started moving and they came across a mustard field, and the mustard field looked very beautiful, isn't it? It was a flowering mustard field, pale like melting gold as it swept across miles and miles of even land. So the whole field was full of mustard flowers. It was looking yellow like the gold. A group of dragonflies were bustling around on their gaudy purple wings, intercepting flight of a lone black bee or butterfly in search of sweetness from the flowers. Now, why do you think the writer has added up these lines? To make us feel the beauty of spring, which means that the spring, this season, is not only enjoyed by us, not only enjoyed by human beings, even the animals, the insects, everybody enjoys. Therefore, we can see that when the mustard field was looking yellow with all the mustard flowers, you can imagine how beautiful the scene would be. And there, the dragonflies, they were also flying up, the butterflies were coming, and it was all a very mesmerizing, a very beautiful scene. This all, what happened? This all was attracting the boy. The child followed them in the air with his gaze till one of them would still its wings and rest. So what happened? The boy was so attracted by those beautiful insects that he tried to catch them. He went after them and waited for one to sit still at a place. But he was not able to catch them, because as soon as he tried to, they flew away. And on the other hand, as he was trying to do this, his parents kept on calling that come, come, because they were going towards the fair. But the child, he was so spellbound by all those beautiful things around him that he was lagging behind. He was getting late again and again. Again, he ran towards his parents, and soon he came to a place where he could see insects and worms. He ran towards his parents gaily, and however, he was again left behind, attracted by the little insects and worms along the footpath that were teeming out from their hiding places to enjoy the sunshine. So during the winters, all the insects, they go inside. They stay inside because of the winter. Now, what happened? They were all coming out from their habitats to enjoy the sunshine. So the boy, after his parents called him, he started running towards them. But again, he was stopped by these insects. He started enjoying them. And again, his parents, they were calling him. Now, as he was moving, what was the next thing he saw? A shower of young flowers fell upon the child as he entered the grove. Grove means a place where all trees grow, a garden of fruit trees probably. And forgetting his parents, he began to gather the raining petals in his hands. So as the flowers, they were falling, he forgot his parents. He forgot that his parents were calling him. And he started collecting those flowers in his small hands. But lo, he heard the cooing of doves and ran towards his parents shouting, the dove, the raining petals dropped from his forgotten hands. So while he was trying to collect those flowers, he suddenly heard the cooing of the dove. Dove is a similar kind of bird, just like the pigeon. So when he heard those birds calling, he forgot about those flowers. He threw them, the flowers, they fell from his hand, and he ran towards his parents, saying, calling them and telling about the doves. Come, child, come, they called to the boy child, who had now gone running in the wild capers round the banyan tree, and gathering him up, they took the narrow winding footpath which led to the fair through the mustard field. So, by now you have understood that the boy, he was going to the fair with his parents, but on the way he was lagging behind. He was left behind because he was attracted by everything that he saw on the way. He was filled with amazement. He was filled with happiness, and he tried to collect everything that he could see. And slowly they were moving forward towards the fair. Now they had almost reached the fair. As they neared the village, the child could see many other footpaths full of throngs converging to the whirlpool of the fair, and felt at once repelled and fascinated by the confusion of the world he was entering. So now they had almost reached the fair, and by now he forgot whatever he had seen behind. Now he was attracted by the scenes that he could see in front of him in the fair. He did not enter the fair, but just near the entrance, he could see a number of things, and he got fascinated by them. A sweetmeat seller hawked gulab jamun, rasgulla, barfi, jalebi. So there were varieties of sweets at the corner of the entrance. So at the entrance of the fair, there was a sweet seller who was selling numerous kinds of sweets. At the corner of the entrance, and crowd pressed round his counter at the foot. So what happened? There was a sweet seller. He was selling number of sweets. There was crowd all around, and the boy, when he saw those sweets, he again had the desire to have those sweets, and he went and he told his father that I want to have the sweets. I want to have which sweet? I want to have barfi. But do you think his father gave him? No, his father did not reply as usual, and again they had to go, and he did not even expect a positive reply. He just simply said that he wanted that barfi. He knew that his father is not going to give him any barfi. Then he came in front of a flower seller who was selling garlands, and he again told his father that I want a garland, and again his father did not reply. So they again started moving, and by now they reached a balloon seller. So again he went and he said his father that I want balloons, and same thing, his father did not reply. In all these cases, firstly in the beginning itself he asked for toys. He knew that his father is not going to give him. He asked for sweets, knowing that his father won't give. He asked for balloons, he asked for garland, and he knew everything that he is asking for, his father would not give him, but yet he kept on asking. Then he reached a snake charmer who was playing a flute. So a snake charmer stood playing a flute to a snake which coiled itself in the basket, its head raised in a graceful bend like the neck of a swan. So you all have seen the snake charmers, if not in reality, then at least in television. What do? When the snake charmer, they play their flute, the snake, they move along with the flute, not with the sound but with the movement of the flute. So this was the same thing that was happening over there. But knowing his parents had forbidden him to hear such coarse music as the snake charmer played, he proceeded farther. But his parents had long back told him that never listen to this kind of music. It's not a good music. Coarse music means very rough music. So he knew that he will not be allowed to listen to it. So he started proceeding farther. Now, as they entered the fair, there they saw a roundabout. Now, what's a roundabout? It is a merry-go-round. He was spellbound by it, and he wanted to have a ride at any cost. He wanted to ride in that merry-go-round. So this time he sternly told his parents that I want to ride it. He was not ready to hear a no from them. But when he was saying again and again that I want to get into the merry-go-round or I want to get into the roundabout, he did not get any reply. And suddenly he turned back and he saw that his parents were not there. So he was very sad. He was shocked that where his parents have gone. He could not see them anywhere. As soon as this happened, he forgot everything else and he started shouting and crying and calling his mother and father. He started running from here and there. His clothes became untidy. The turban that he was wearing, it fell down, and he started searching for his parents, calling them, screaming their names and crying. But he could not see his parents anywhere. So he was very, very sad. He was very hurt that he could not find his parents. He could not find his parents anywhere. Then he saw a shrine. A shrine means a temple. And he started running towards the temple in search of his parents. So he was again shouting mother, father, and going towards the temple. Now the temple was very crowded. There were a lot of people, and as he was trying to move towards the temple, the people, they were pushing him and he was brutally being hurt by those people. But he kept on moving forward, and while he was moving and shouting, suddenly a man, he saw the boy. He saw this little boy and he asked him, "Whose child are you? Who are you?" The boy, he did not reply anything, just say that I want my mother and my father. So this man, he realized that obviously this boy has lost his parents, and he tried to soothe the little boy. So he took him to the roundabout, which the boy wanted to get in so badly, and he told that, would you take a ride in this roundabout? The man thought that the roundabout the boy would enjoy and he might be relieved for a while till his parents are found out. But the boy, he did just say that I want my mother, I want my father. So the man, he carried the boy from there, and then they came near the snake charmer whom the boy had seen before going to the roundabout. And now the man thought that probably the boy would love looking at the snake charmer. But when the man took him to the snake charmer, the boy was not interested in it, and he just said that I want my father and I want my mother. Again they moved forward and they saw that balloon seller. The man tried to buy him some balloons. The boy said that no, I want my parents. Then he went to the then as they moved forward, they came to the place where there was this flower seller. He tried to give him a garland, but the boy said no, I don't want to, refused to take it. He wanted, and he just said that I want my parents. Next they came to the sweet shop, but the man offered him sweets. The boy said no, I don't want, I want my parents. So the man, he tried number of ways to console the boy or to relieve his pain, but this boy, he was not consoled by anything. He only wanted to have his parents, and he continuously started crying and saying father, mother. So nothing could make the boy happy, and with this the story. So as the story ends, you always feel that the child does not meet his parents. So what kind of ending is this? We don't come to know whether he actually met his parents or not. Students, this kind of stories are called open-ended stories, which means that the readers are given their freedom to make their own prediction of the end. So this is an open-ended story. Now I have explained to you the content of the story. I gave you a summary of what the story is about. In my next video, I shall talk about what we learned from the lesson, what is the theme of the story, and the title justification. So for today, I end up my class here. Have a great day, my dear students. Thank you.